Hello guys, this is a very quick bot tier list video, and it's not about the strength of the bots in general for your team. It's about the strength of the bots when you are facing them in like danger zone or bandit battles, or also when you are fighting in the arena. What you should be really afraid of and what is absolutely harmless, and you shouldn't care about that. And I will start right with a very quick explanation bot. For example, Bombi. Bombi is absolutely S plus tier when it comes to the most dangerous bot you can face, because he has a passive that makes him stun all your bots on impact. Obviously, you can also use Bombi and you can also use that passive, right? But for players, it's not that strong. However, for enemy bandit that you are fighting in the danger zone, well, this is one of the strongest stuff you can face, really, because it can really destroy your entire combo and disrupt your entire team. And that's why Bombi is absolutely something you should be afraid of when you are playing danger zone or arena. And you should always check to the left what bots the enemy has, and if there is Bombi, for example, you should be really afraid. You shouldn't group your bots together in order to make his passive stun and damage in area as he lands, in order to make that less useful. Okay, and I will assess the threat level, let's say, of every bot, so you can know which bots you should be the most afraid of. So let's go, and we have Barry here, and he is absolutely harmless. He's not doing damage, he's not bringing any stuns or anything. You shouldn't be worried about Barry. Beat is like in the middle, I would say. Maybe I will fix that later, but yeah, he has area stun, but this is a long cooldown. Maybe he could be A, because he empowers bots around him with that instant inspire. So maybe it's actually A. Now, Berserker, I would say it's C. He's bringing a stun to the battle and some tankiness. Maybe he should be B tier, but I think it's C. He's not that very strong. He's not chasing your allies or something. I think he's fine. Okay, Big Shot. This is a very huge threat. When you see Big Shot, you must just answer. You must do something about him, because he will just completely obliterate your bots, and this is a very strong bot. Brute, I would say he's S tier. He just can randomly spin and destroy your entire team. I would say he's A, because he's pretty slow, he's manageable. Actually, I've lost once an epic chest because of Brute. He killed my chainer. So, okay, I'll put him in S tier. You should really just don't let him get to you. Now Bulwark, this is another S plus tier. And that is because he has an AI which makes him instantly use his ultimate as he enters the battle, and there's a high chance he will have this ultimate and this AI. So well, his ultimate stands in area, and that area is pretty big, so you should be afraid of that, and this can really disrupt your entire team and make you lose. Chainer, again, this is something you should be afraid of. A lot of stuns, constantly grabbing your long shot, let's say, or any carry, and really disrupting the entire fight. This is something you should be aware of. Chomp is pretty dangerous, especially when you are fighting high-level enemies, but especially when there are many chomps, you know. They can be really dangerous when there are many of them and they are very high level, but outside of that, they are pretty harmless and not that tanky. If you aren't prepared for Dunebug, and if you don't have stuns in your team, then Dunebug is A tier, and maybe I will put him here. I think a lot of new players can struggle with Dunebug, because many new players just play with what they've got, and this is normal, right? So they have maybe no counter to Dunebug. But for me, Dunebug is not very... he's like C maybe for me, but I understand that he can be a bit annoying, so I will put him here. Flamer is S tier because he, similarly to Bombi, he has this damage around him. However, he doesn't stun, and I've never seen him actually use his ultimate in properly, like against me. So maybe he's even A. Just be careful to not actually, unless Flamer is very high level, he's not doing that much damage around him. Very high level, well, you should be afraid of him, but yeah, just be careful because he has some similar ability to Bombi, although it doesn't stun, so it's not that important. Fork is pretty strong, pretty powerful. If you are fighting against a very high level Fork in arena, he can be very strong and annoying, especially with like 4 alt cooldowns or something. But in danger zone and in bandit fights, I never noticed him being that strong against player teams. So I think he's average, and well, you shouldn't be too worried about him. Well, Froggy is pretty dangerous, but he's completely manageable if you have stuns, so yeah, I would even put him here. He's pretty strong in arena, but arena is just arena. Generally, danger zone is more important, and then Froggy isn't very big. Frosty, you shouldn't worry about him. I understand that early in the game it's pretty hard to counter Frosty, but believe me, later in the game Frosty doesn't do much, so shouldn't worry about him. Hornet, similarly, I never saw him being very useful, so yeah. He has stun on his ultimate, but it's very situational, so yeah. Icicle, pretty straightforward, just not a very strong bot. He can be annoying when you are fighting very high level enemies, much higher than you, but outside of that, he's not that strong. KO, never seen him do that much. Lobby can actually be powerful when you are facing much higher level opponents, because his attack is very fast and he will for sure attack your bots, and when he's like 7 levels above you, well, he will obviously destroy them. But outside of that, yeah, you shouldn't be afraid of him. He should be there, but just because he attacks fast and often, he can damage you, so he's somewhat of a threat. Longshot, he is very strong, just not S plus tier, just because, you know, he isn't instantly doing something, just like Brute after dropping. Brute can have instant spin, but Brute's instant spin has such a big wind up that it's like he wouldn't have an instant spin, you know. Similarly with Longshot, he's not doing much at the very moment he joins the battle, so but he is very powerful, especially if the enemy will use Supercharge Chaos Translocator. He's very powerful. Mort, just exactly the same like Longshot. He's very powerful and a very big threat, because, you know, enemies love to supercharge, translocate him, and he will use his ultimate, which gets the damage doubled, and, you know, you are basically dead if he is much higher level than you. So yeah, just beware of him. And another S plus tier bot you should be aware of when you are joining the fight. If you see Nozzle, don't group, just like with Bombi. He has a very long stun on impact, and well, this will surely disrupt your fight, and, you know, you can lose easily a match because of him. Just because of him. Pluggy is just like all these guys. He's just so powerful, you know, and I wouldn't put so much priority on killing Pluggy as much like I would on, for example, Mort or Longshot, but I don't think he belongs here. These guys are very manageable. They don't do that much. Pluggy is a pain sometimes, and you should be aware of him. Although it's not that strong, okay? And well, I think this is the case here as well, maybe even here. Papil, for me, he's just like Big Shot, you know? I think he has about the same damage as Big Shot, maybe even more reliable, you know? However, yeah, it's just that I don't see that much of Papil action, and he never destroyed my entire team. He still is somewhat slow, and he has to turn around to... he can defeat your one bot, but more than one, not so much. It's easy to deal with him. Big Shot, on the other hand, if he has AI, he can teleport around and just bam each of your bot. Meanwhile, Pupil is not that strong. That's why he's a tier below. Ram, he's just so powerful. He will do a lot of damage to you, and if your squishy bot is out of position, he will destroy it. He's not this tier because all of these bots expect Big Shot, and they stun and disrupt your entire team. Ram does this as well, but not to such a big extent, but he brings a lot of damage and that's why he is very high as well. Okay, Rocketeers actually are pretty strong, especially if you are fighting like 4 of them, you know, as wild bots or bandits. Their ultimate is pretty powerful. If they are higher level than you, you should be aware of them. They can kill off your flamer in like a second and you won't notice. So that's why I've put them here. But they are not that strong and you shouldn't absolutely prioritize if this is a single Rocketeer, it's as well like this or this. But yeah, Rocketeers can be a pain sometimes. Scatter, maybe it's a surprise for you, but Scatter is pretty powerful when you are fighting against... I would put him here, but actually I think Scatter is much more dangerous than all of these bots, so I'll put him here, but I don't think Scatter is like... Maybe if I turn down like all of these bots by 1 tier, then I would put Scatter somewhere in between S and A, you know, but I will put him into A. He's not that as strong as these bots, okay, but he's very strong when bandits like put Scatter on your long shot or something and you can't move away. Yeah, Scatter just does so much damage at close range and that's it. And he also can stun your entire team. So yeah, you should be aware of him. He's pretty dangerous, you know. Okay, I don't know about Slash. I barely fight against him, so I don't remember anymore. I don't think he's that strong. And generally, you know, well, actually, if you ignore absolutely him and let him do damage, this guy is pretty powerful. He can kill your bots pretty easily if you just let him do his job and he's not bothered by anyone. So this guy actually can do something. But overall, I would put him still here because how squishy chasers are. Chasers are very squishy, so he should be dead before he does anything. Although if you don't pay attention to him, he will be there. But yeah, I will put him here just because he's so squishy, you know. Thumb, he's not a big threat, you know. He stuns, he is annoying, but he does not do enough damage to really change the fight. Virus is S+ tier just because of the combo with Supercharge, and also he can have this AI which resets his cooldown on his hack whenever he participates in killing an enemy, I think. Because I remember one fight I've lost so much because Virus got so many resets. So yeah, it's just such a strong bot when it comes to his ability that you should always prioritize dealing with him. I don't think I should explain much. Virus is just very strong in your team and in enemy team as well. And well, Yankee is actually like harmless. Sometimes he can grab your one of your bots, but without alt cooldowns, his ultimate is so long that he almost always does nothing in these fights. I would say still he is a bit more dangerous than Barry, you know. And that was it. I didn't want to make this tier list way too long of a video. I think I explained this pretty well. And I think most of us would agree. If you see these bots in the enemy team, you should deal with them somehow. Obviously, if there are plenty of them, you can't, but usually there is one big shot or one Bombi, and this is all manageable. You should play around them somehow. So yeah, guys, I hope I helped you, and well, when you are fighting in danger zone especially, just look to the left, especially when you're fighting a bandit, if he has some of these bots. If he has, have that in mind, and it will greatly help you if you like avoid area stun from Nozzle and he will only stun one of your bots, similarly to Bombi. If you also plan to deal with a big shot, it will save your run probably. So yeah, this is very important to recognize which bots are strong against your team. Thanks guys for watching, and subscribe if you like my videos, and see you next time.